Hey, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to break down something really exciting. What does all of this momentum around OpenDoor Technologies actually mean for the upcoming week, as well as looking ahead through the rest of 2025? I'll also walk you through my personal price prediction for OpenDoor, and we'll touch on the big question that a lot of people are asking right now. Could OpenDoor end up being like the next Carvana stock, except with an even better business model? That's the kind of speculation that's driving a lot of attention. And if you've been following, you'll know that the buzz is only getting louder. I am not a financial advisor. The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Investing in stocks involves risk, including the possible loss of your investment. Always do your own research. Consider your financial situation carefully and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Now here's the thing. Analysts, investors, and influencers are chiming in. Eric Jackson has been especially vocal, forecasting that OpenDoor could eventually get to $500 per share. Yes, you heard that right. $500. And you might think, that's overly bullish. No way it happens. But the reality is that many people feel we aren't bullish enough yet. When you put OpenDoor side by side with other disruptive companies early in their growth stages, the comparisons start to make more sense. For example, Tom Lee, a well-respected voice in finance, was recently in an interview where he directly compared OpenDoor to Tesla during its early growth phase. Think about what that means. Back when Tesla was still battling for legitimacy, skeptics were everywhere. Now fast forward and it's one of the most transformative companies in the world. Lee's implication is that OpenDoor has the same sort of DNA, the same type of disruptive potential, just in the real estate space. That's a huge statement. But let's not just take opinions. Let's look at actual numbers. When you analyze the options trading volume around OpenDoor, the inflows are undeniable. Big money is flowing in, and options volume tends to tell a story of sentiment. And right now, that story is bullish. Now, let's jump into what Anthony Pompliano, aka Pomp, had to say. He posted just this morning that he personally purchased more open shares. That's significant. When someone widely regarded as a thought leader in the finance and crypto space, often referred to as the GOAT by many of his followers, makes a public statement about buying OpenDoor, it sends a strong signal. It's not just hype, it's conviction. He believes in the use case. He believes in the model. And when you have conviction from people with a track record of spotting trends early, it's worth paying attention. On the flip side, Adam, one of the original angel investors, also shared his perspective. He admitted that it has been painful to watch OpenDoor over the last few years, given that he always envisioned the company becoming a $100 billion plus enterprise. But like many startups, OpenDoor lost its way for a while. Now, though, he's supporting Eric Jackson's efforts to reinvigorate the company. In fact, Adam revealed that he recently purchased 50,000 shares of OpenDoor. But here's where it gets even more interesting. He pledged that if Open hits $10 per share, he'll donate 10,000 shares to charity. And if it goes all the way to $82 per share, he'll donate another 15,000 shares. That's not just confidence. That's putting values into action. He's not a meme stock chaser. He's a long-term believer who sees real innovation potential in real estate. And he's not alone. Marcus posted his conviction, saying he believes Open could hit $50. Now, when you break that down, the math isn't crazy. If Open is at $7 or $8 today, and we're looking at a run to $10, the jump from $10 to $50 may sound big, but in terms of market cycles, it's a closer probability than many realize. Remember, once momentum builds and institutional investors start piling in, the acceleration can be rapid. Let me highlight another story. Stevio posted that he officially crossed the $1 million mark, purely from his conviction in OpenDoor. Think about that. A retail investor becoming a millionaire just by sticking with a stock through volatility. He even shared that it's been a wild ride, but he sees it as only the beginning of something bigger and more beautiful. His target? $82 per share. That kind of conviction, combined with results, has a way of inspiring others. He even made it to Time magazine as part of the Open Door Millionaire feature. Then there's the whale activity. SOS reported that someone bought $76,000 worth of Open October calls that were 75% out of the money. That's a serious bet, and it's not casual gambling. Whoever placed that order believes strongly in the upside potential. You don't throw $76K at contracts that far out of the money unless you're seeing something others don't. That level of bullishness is contagious. Even the wise ape-man chimed in, saying that Open deserves to be a $35 stock right now. His words, "Let's send it to its rightful place, fam." That kind of community-driven energy can create the momentum snowball effect we've seen before in other breakout stocks. Meanwhile, the company itself is executing. OpenDoor recently announced that just weeks after launching its Cash Plus listing program, the first home has already been resold. The original seller got their upside check, marking an important milestone. Cash Plus is currently only available in select markets, and of course, eligibility varies, but it's the start of something scalable. This is how you change the real estate transaction game. Previously, I had key support and resistance lines mapped out around the $5 to $6 range. But now, as we've moved higher, the chart tells a new story. I've been vocal for a while that OpenDoor is on track to hit double digits by mid-September. Well, here we are in early September, and the momentum is building just as expected. Over the next week or two, I anticipate the next stair step up, targeting the $10 to $12 range. That's where I expect some resistance to appear, and consolidation will likely follow before the next leg up. But remember, consolidation in a bullish trend is healthy. It builds the foundation for bigger moves. The indicators are flashing bullish. We've got momentum on our side. We've got a clear buy signal, and the sentiment is aligning. The play here is to ride the momentum, but also understand that pullbacks will come. And that's an opportunity, not a threat. Now let's switch gears for a moment. Hey guys, it's day 17. Guess where I am? Back at Drake's house in the 6. Always great to be here. And yes, I'm repping the OpenDoor gear too. Let me show you something. I've got my whiteboard here, though I didn't bring the big one from California, too bulky for the trip. OpenDoor stock is on fire. It was up about 20% yesterday and then another 15% today. That's insane short-term momentum. And I want to make a direct appeal to Future, who happens to be Drake's business manager. Let me explain why. On Friday night, I was here with my son and we met Bucky, Drake's head of security. Bucky said, "You've got to talk to Future. He's really the guy who makes the key decisions." And since that conversation, OpenDoor stock is up about 56 to 57% in just 5 days. Think about that. In less than a week, it's been an absolute rocket. And zooming out, since I first started these daily videos, OpenDoor has gone from about $3.21 on day one to pushing $7 today. That's more than doubling in a short span. So Drake, Future, if you're listening, this is important. I know Drake just made a $350,000 bet on tennis, on S winning the US Open. But imagine if he had allocated that $350K into OpenDoor stock instead. The upside would have been enormous. That's the type of wealth creation opportunity we're talking about here. And here's the real kicker. Eric Jackson himself said it. OpenDoor has 100x run potential. Let that sink in. 100 times. We're at the beginning of a possible parabolic growth curve. That's why the conviction is so high. That's why people are making bold bets. And that's why I'm sharing this with you all today. So, to wrap up, the momentum is real, the technicals are bullish, the fundamentals are improving, and the investor community is aligned. Whether you're an institutional whale, a retail investor like Stevio, or just someone curious about disruptive innovation, OpenDoor is shaping up to be one of the most fascinating plays of this cycle. And the story is just getting started. If you've been enjoying this breakdown on OpenDoor and the opportunities ahead, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button. It really helps push this video out to more people who care about investing and disruptive companies. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the next update. We're going deep on technicals, breaking news, and price predictions every single week. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.